welcome once again to another beautiful edition of Let's Talk Business on Impact Business Radio, IBR 92.5 FM. So you would definitely have a very good time on the show today. Last week, I treated you to tips on good customer service, what it means to be in business, and of course, the reason why you're in business is to give good service or services to your customer, as a matter of fact. And one of the ways to ensure that your customer keeps coming back is to uh, bring up good customer service, engage in good customer service, treat your customers very well. And I discussed around some varied tips that we can use to ensure that we stay very good in business. Today, on this edition of Let's Talk Business, I have a guest in the house. I have a fine lady in the house today who's an entrepreneur doing very well for herself. Like I said last week, on Thursday, I said, well, about 2 weeks ago now in Lagos, we had a gathering of entrepreneurs in Nigeria, people who came together to chart a course for themselves, how to grow their business, how to grow their businesses, how to impact on the GDP of Nigeria. From university days, the youth can harness their potential in the area of entrepreneurship, and this, in the long run, will benefit them and in turn will increase the national income of the nation. With this mindset, soon we would begin to have initiatives for the production of new products and, of course, services. It would be something of great achievement if the youth can spring up industries, float companies, thereby reducing the level of importation into the country. This is the road to development as a result of an increase in GDP of the nation. But it starts with you and I. Like I said, I have a fantastic lady in the house with me today, an entrepreneur. We'll be looking at her life and what she does, how she got into the business, and so many much more on the show today. Once again, welcome to Let's Talk Business on Impact Business Radio, the very first business radio in the whole of Nigeria. And once again, I'm Oluta Ogunade. If you're just joining me on the show, it's a beautiful program, and here on the program, we tell you it's a platform meant to help people to help people in business and how to also help business owners on what kind of business they can also do. Gives you tips on how you can access funds. We talk about small businesses, small starts to big businesses today, and of course, it's meant to also promote your own business, advertise on the platform. You can buy 5 minutes, you can buy 10 minutes, you can buy 15 minutes on IBR to showcase what you do. I mean, if you are in business and nobody knows about your product or what you're doing while you're in business, and of course, one of the reasons why we're in business is, apart from making money, also to engage in productive service to people around us. Therein lies fulfillment. For advert placement on Impact Business Radio, on Let's Talk Business, if you're listening to me, it's 0708 699 5925 or call 0908 485 8381. The numbers again 0708 699 5925 or call 0908 485 8381. Yes, I have my guest already seated here with me in the studio. She's an entrepreneur, she is a fashion designer and a craft artist. She is Ojo Ann Ibukunoluwa. Great to have you in the studio with me, IBK.
Thank you very much.
Can I call you IBK?
Yes, you can.
Great to have you here once again. You are a fashion designer.
Yes, I am.
Okay, and also a craft artist.
Yes.
Yeah, tell me, who is a craft artist?
A craft artist is someone who uses the hands in creating things. You know, I use my hands in creating things, most especially from fabrics.
Okay.
So, talking about a fashion designer, I make wares, I sketch designs for people. So, within fashion designing and craft artists, I put them together.
Okay, tell me, how did this start for you, getting into the arts?
Okay, it started, well, it's been in me for some time, but I actually came out when I started serving. I met with some people during my service, and I joined a lady who came then, a fashion designer. She came to get some people into the fashion business, so I took in, and luckily for me, where I was, my PPA was very close to
Okay.
her fashion house. So with that, I started doing it. I started learning fashion, and then she brought someone.
What
to
was it in
teach me.
particular that you were learning then, or you learned then?
I was learning fashion and design in itself,
Okay.
every part of it. Then later on, she brought someone to teach us the crafts, using fabrics and making different things. So I actually got more interested in that, and I think right now I'm more into that than even sewing, but I still sew.
Okay, so since you left school, I mean, I don't want to guess your age, but I know you're a young person, and of course, you're already doing very well for yourself in the industry you've chosen for yourself. Why are you not in paid employment? Why uh, self-employed?
Well, probably because this is quite flexible for me. Apart from being flexible, I think I get paid more than I would have loved to get paid.
Really?
An office job.
And you're like, you're listening to that? Come on. Okay.
And I enjoy it. I enjoy it so much because I don't see myself just sitting down at a spot in an office with papers in front of me. I prefer seeing fabrics in front of me. So I think I enjoy being an entrepreneur. And it's been beautiful.
There's a new wave of campaign for made in Nigeria goods, made in Nigeria things, and I'm sure this is really helping those of you already established in the industry, giving you a ready market, as it were. Can you talk about the product that you make? I'm not talking about you in particular now. I mean, locally made product and services. How competitive when you put it side by side, the imported goods?
Well, most people actually prefer imported goods to what we make here. And whereas when we make things here, we actually put more effort into making it beautiful, and it can actually stand side by side with some of the imported goods. I can remember my mom bought a bag from Dubai, and when she brought it, and she brought my bag, the bag I made for her, and she was like, "Ah, Ibuku, it's like your bag is lasting more than this one, oh." I'm like, "Ah, Mom, maybe you went all the way, you got, and it's more expensive." That's the funniest part. We should actually try to patronize ourselves, and it will help us in growing. Before we know it, we start exporting
Exporting.
our wares, we start exporting our bags, we start exporting our Nigerian made shoes. I actually look up to Ghana. Ghana is doing a lot in that sense. It's actually a good thing to do. By the time we know it, we start making things ourselves. We won't be depending on imported things.
Okay. You won't be doing depending on imported things. Okay, when you started, we talk about capital for startups. People talk about, well, I don't have money. Yes, I have the idea, but no money. Is it really true? Then I had a guy here some times ago who said he started his business with 500 naira. I know we have stories like this. How much was it for you when you started? And how easy was you? How were you able to bring capital together or bring money together to start up?
First of all, I think if you really have the passion for it, one way or the other, you definitely get capital. When I started, I was 7, and so I got encouragement, first of all, from my family. They've been around me. I can remember my first machine was bought for me by my sister, my big sis, and my parents actually paid half of the money I used in learning. I paid the rest because that's how they are. They encourage you, they push
How
you.
did they get the rest?
I was 7,
Okay.
so from my little alawi, I saved, and with that, I was able to get enough money to pay the rest. And before you know it, I started little too because I didn't believe people could actually buy what I was making because I felt, oh, I made it with my hands, and people might feel, oh, it's substandard. But before I got to know it, someone got really interested in it, and the person told me, like, I want you to make a huge production for me. And with time, I was like, wow, so someone can actually buy this. With time, I started going on and on. I started training people, and it went on like that.
Sourcing for materials for your produce. How have you been? How do you source for materials for produce? And another, paying detailed attention to some little things, the details, paying attention to details. I think that is many times the argument by people or Nigerians that is why they prefer the imported goods to the locally made ones. Paying attention to details, where you have the little details being tidied properly, so you can almost not know that it's locally made.
Yeah, yeah. The thing about that is that the thing about entrepreneurship and what I do is you have to have the skill. You don't just wake up in the morning and feel like, oh, my friend is making money out of this and I want to learn it too. No. Just know what is in you. What do you feel like doing? What do you think if I do, oh, it will come out well? Before you know it, by the time you start doing it, you make sure that every detail is followed. You make sure that your work is very neat. That's one. You have to be a very neat person because some people will come and meet you over and over again. Oh, you did this and you didn't do it well. So paying attention to details actually really matters if you really want to do something like I do or any other entrepreneur in entrepreneurship. And sourcing for materials has been quite easy for me because here in Ibadan, I get my materials from markets, from Gadi, I get my fabrics from Gadi Market, I get my materials from the market, all around.
So you patronize all these grassroots markets?
Yes, I do, and that's the beautiful part of it. You get to, some people think, oh, they might be having substandard products. No, why? Why would you think that way? Yeah, there's some substandard products, but through that, you still get good ones. You still pay, when you pay attention to the stuff they sell to you, you'll be able to get good ones out of it. There's substandard products everywhere. Even outside the country, there's substandard products. So why would you emphasize on Nigeria?
Okay, we'll still come back to your craft and all that. There's a misconception around when you see a young lady who drives around in a beautiful car. She looks very posh and all that. There's always the temptation from guys to say, oh, maybe the guy bought the car for her, or maybe she's into some very nasty things. Are you telling us that there are young ladies out there who are upwardly mobile, engaged in productive ventures, and are doing well for themselves? You support?
Yeah, I do. I know young ladies who we were in the same class, we learned together, and they're driving cars. See, it's just being focused. Don't get carried away by one guy or somebody else. I don't know, something else. When you focus on something, like, okay, I want to be a fashion designer, focus on it. Why just be a fashion designer, you go into hair making, you go into other things, and then you realize that you're clustered, you're over processed, you don't just get yourself, and then you start losing it. So by the time you have a focus on it. Before you know it, you'll make it. People outside the country start recognizing you. You use your media, use your social media to reach out to people, to show people what you do. And I can say that's how I got recognized.
Okay, well, that was I got recognized. Ojo and Ibukolo are still very much here with me in the studio. We're surrounded to Impact Business Radio, IBR 92.5 FM, and the program is Let's Talk Business. Yes, I still have Ojo and Ibukolo with me, IBK, a fashion designer, crafts artist, English graduate who is doing very well for herself now in the art and craft industry. She's making money for herself. And I ask her, IBK, do you pay tax? Yes.
Well, I pay tax on everything I buy.
Oh, nice
I
one.
told you.
A nice one. You say, okay, yeah. So, tell us about the market for your product. Is there a ready market for the things you produce?
The thing is, since I still make from my home, I make things from my home, and the marketing I actually do is using my social media. You know, I get pictures, I put them online, and I get buyers. It's almost automatic, and it's been really good. I don't actually have a place to showcase and do stuff like that, but of recent I was able to showcase my things, and people were like, oh wow, so you can do this, where do you stay, and I don't know about you, why? And I think that's me personally. I don't really go around telling people, oh, I do this.
Well, you have the platform here.
But,
You don't need to call the number. Just follow me, go to marketing department, and you have all your products advertised, here. And of course, you can make some good profit for yourself. Tell us about, from patronage, how do you get inspiration for the designs that you make? I can see you do earring, you do shoes, you did this with what you're wearing now.
Yeah.
Wow. So you don't have to go to the tailor, fashion designer.
Yeah.
That's off your. Oh my God. Eniola. Okay. How do you get your inspiration?
I get inspiration from everywhere. I might just be by the roadside and see a particular purse, a particular bag. I might just like it, and I'll just sit down and because I sketch, so I can then sketch out my own style, how I want it to be, and before you know it, I'll just create it. And even wears, that's what I do with wears. I bring out my own style with wears too.
Okay. How soon does it take for your product or services to be available? I mean, the turnaround for your product. If you're given something to do now, what's the turnaround time? How fast do you accomplish that?
It depends on the workload I have, but most of the time I give the maximum of a week, and I try to deliver every time. I don't really like disappointing, so I try to deliver as soon as I can, even before the time I might have stated for you.
Okay, last week on this program, I did something on customer service, on tips for effective customer service when dealing with your customer. For startups, most times, some startup owners, business owners, don't take it to heart. They don't really take customer service to heart so seriously. How have you been able to manage your customers, and how, if there's any, can I use naughty now?
Yeah.
Or stubborn
Yeah,
customer,
difficult
how do you?
customers.
Oh, you said difficult
Yeah.
customers. Okay, how do you handle them?
Okay, like a time ago, I actually met a lady. She's so difficult. She called me about. I told her, okay, I'll make your wear ready in a week. She called me every day of the week, just to tell me that this is the particular style she chose, and I already know. And she kept calling, and at a point one might get frustrated and actually shout like, "Can you stop calling me? I know what you want." But because of the fact that you have to be calm, you have to be patient, you have to just humble yourself and just bring yourself low, no matter how high you are. Just bring yourself low to the level of those people. Speak with them well, like a psychologist. You know, you have to have a bit of that in you, so you can actually face anybody. No
Okay.
matter how rude they are to you, you
Mm.
just have to calm down, look at them, and apologize if you're wrong. Sometimes even if you're not wrong, you apologize just to
Mm.
make them happy.
Mm.
And it's just for you to get your money.
Yes, sir. Life is all about the money, the video said. Okay, yes, from knowing how to handle them to all of that. So we're talking about knowing how to handle a difficult customer. Or, yeah, in the words of IBK, a difficult customer, just be very nice to them, treat them very well, so that at least you can get them come back. And by doing that, you can also increase your profitability. Yes, your experience thus far, there are challenges in being a business owner to being, a paid worker.
Yes.
What are the challenges you've encountered doing this yourself?
First of all, publicity when I started, it was actually very low because I was only using the social media. Most of the time, people on the social media are not really close to you, and sending stuffs to them, whatever they get to them, most of the time will cost more, will be difficult. Like you have to send things to about 6 people in a day. You have to go around town trying to, and those people won't even pay for your fuel. That's it. You have to. There's sometimes you gain, there's sometimes you lose, and so far it's been profitable. I would say that, but not all the time you gain. That's
Okay.
it about business.
Okay, in local parlance now, I know people say, particularly in Yoruba, particularly fashion designers, they can't be trusted when they tell you we'll deliver tomorrow, just check them next month. Yeah, have you been able to keep the promise to your customer and thereby sustaining their confidence in you?
I've actually seen different memes on media talking about tailors, telling you they will deliver today. I just look at them that they won't deliver that day.
No, like,
Um, I try every possible way, to keep up with time. And most of the time, I'm not going to say that I'm so good in keeping up to time. There are sometimes I backslide. And but those people, well, by the time they believe in your work, they know that you are good. And like, okay, let me just give you some time for you. And what I do is this: if I'm not going to meet up with time, I tell you beforehand. I call you and tell you that sorry, this is what's happening. Should I give you this time? Would it be fair? The person tells me, okay, it will be. And most of the time, it's always like that. So I try my best, but I won't say that I'm all perfect. No, I'm not. Because sometimes things happen along the way.
Sometimes things happen along the way. I try my best to deliver well to the optimum, but well, things happen sometimes. But it's just about letting your customer know
Yes.
what is up. On Impact Business Radio, IBR 92.5 FM is still Let's Talk Business, the final lap on the show today, and of course my guest is still very much here with me. IBK in short, or for short, I call her, or Joanne Ibukumolua, still very much here with me in the studio. IBK, what has been your sustaining power as a business owner?
I guess it's my drive.
Your driver drives you. What are you driving?
I I really love what I do. I'm interested in what I do. So having the interest and the encouragement from people around me when they see what I do, oh my God, you made this. This is beautiful. You should do this. You should do that. I get motivated.
Indeed, very beautiful.
Yes.
Definitely, definitely.
There was a time I met Nike of Nike's gallery. She actually spoke with me. She was like, "Oh my God, you're a young fashion designer. I'm really glad. You go places." I felt really good. I got motivated like that.
Okay, well, there are also people there's always the talk that when Nigerians observe that there's a particular line of business booming or doing very well, everybody jumps into it. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry jumps into that line of business. What
Yeah.
separates you? What separates you from the pack? What's the distinguishing factor for you?
Well, as for me, I am not just. I don't just. Let me see. I'm not just like a designer. Like, okay, I just saw it by the roadside and I feel like I want to do it. It's like part of me. I sketch. I design. I've been doing that since I was in my secondary school, primary school. I've been doing that. So it's been part of me. So actually, growing up actually made me build it in a way, and again, encouragement from family, like I said, actually, helped me. And talking about my work being different, like I said, I sketch, I create. When I see a style, I don't want to bring out the style exactly the way I've seen it. I want to put my own into it. So that's what's actually been helping me. That's why I said that if you are going into a path of entrepreneurship, you should know that you have the drive, you're interested, you can do it. Like if I go into bead making, oh, I'm interested in beads, I know about beads, I really want to do it. That's how I went into fashion. I have the skill. I love fabrics so much.
You dream fabrics. You sleep and you see fabrics. Yeah, before you go on the show, talk to the Nigerian youth out there. Who is a Nigerian youth to you? And of course, the complaints from many youths: no job, no money, no help from anywhere. Are there really opportunities in Nigeria? And how can we harness it as young people?
I think we have more opportunities because entrepreneurship is actually booming, even more than paid jobs. And it's actually easy to get more than paid jobs and go for interviews like 100 times, whereby you can just sit down in your room and create something and start gradually.
Okay, a strong advocate for entrepreneurship, Joanne Ibukunlua, a fashion designer and craft artist, of course, an English graduate who feels that it is better to make money doing what I'd love to do myself than getting in paid employment. You don't like interviews, do you? pushing envelopes about, and you don't like it. You just love fabrics and all that. Well, this is where we come to an end on Let's Talk Business. Another beautiful edition. Let's Talk Business comes to you again tomorrow. I'm Oluta Ogwande. Like I said, the platform is meant to showcase what you do while you are in business. Let's know what you do. Leverage this platform. Let's do business together. For advert placement, call 0708 699 5925 or 0908 485 080-3881. Wherever you are in the city of Ibadan or beyond, let's come together, let's do business, let's help you increase your profitability. Let's discuss, let's do business. The program is Let's Talk Business. Until I come your way again, and bye from me.